Hey everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. I am here with the last layout or project life spread from my April 2014 pages in my scrapbook album, and I'm super excited because this means I have another month done. I'm actually starting to kind of fly through some of these months, so I highly project or predict that I will be caught up, at least have all of my 2014, all of 2015 albums, and most likely probably part of 2016 done at by the end of 2016. Having my YouTube channel really keeps me accountable, and it makes me do these layouts pretty quickly. Not that I'm speeding through them or anything. I'm definitely taking my time, and I really don't feel the pressure because it's just something I enjoy doing. But it's making me do more than what I probably would do on my own. And I really like that because my purpose is to get these things scrapbooked. I want these in my albums so my family can see them. So, anyways, kind of side note there, random. I just trimmed down all of my photos and I'm just kind of placing my white cardstock, and then I'll start pulling out some different cards to see which direction I want to go. Now, I still had a lot of the supplies out from the last couple project life spreads that I did, and so I figured I might as well keep them out and just keep on working with them. Since this is the last page, I might as well have them all coordinate. And I did have this teal tone on tone striped paper in my like scrap box that I had found. I was going through some different boxes of paper and I realized that there were scraps in those boxes. So I pulled them all out and I added them to my scrap bin, and I just started using them. And the same thing with this pink, I think it's cardstock. I don't think it's a pattern paper. I think it's just a cardstock piece. I went ahead and pulled that out as well from my scrap bin. I like to use scraps when at all possible. I'm actually highly considering doing I hate to mention this because if I don't do it, then I'll feel weird, or I'll feel bad for mentioning it. Not feel weird, but I'll feel bad for mentioning. But I'm thinking about starting to offer some classes in 2017. And I know that's like way off because we're in March, but I'm the type of person that plans everything. So in order for me to offer classes at some point, I kind of like having the thought or the plan already in process now. So yeah, that's like way down the road. But if you guys are at all interested in seeing a couple classes from me, I'm thinking my very first class probably would be a using up your scraps kind of class, because I am so that person that does not throw stuff away. I keep it. Now, I keep it, but I will say I don't have a ton of scraps. I use them. I don't have very much. I don't have a drawer. I don't have a bucket. I don't have a basket. I just have like the lid to an iris container. That's all I really have. And those are all my scrap pieces of paper. So, I mean, I use them. I definitely use them. As you can see, all of the papers that I think I used in this layout were scraps. But anyways, I'm thinking about doing that because I think it's important to utilize our supplies. There's no point in wasting any money if we don't have to. And just finding some different creative ways to use up some scraps, I think would be beneficial. So, anyways, that was totally a side note and not a plug because I don't have this class even slightly dreamed up yet. It's just a random thought that came across my mind, I suppose, in the last couple weeks. But anyways, let's actually get back to the layout here. I am using photos. These are the last Easter photos that I have, but this is the school Easter celebration. Kaylin's preschool did a little Easter celebration that year, and they were doing an inside Easter egg hunt. And I love looking at these photos because this is when Kaylin's hair was still really long, and we actually had it in a ponytail in these pictures. So I love looking at it because I loved his long curly hair. But now it's short, and I think it's cut. It's actually cut into a mohawk at the moment with a lightning bolt part on the side of his head. So he's a big boy now. He's not this little boy anymore. My baby. But that's why we have scrapbooking, to reminisce these type of things. That's not where I intended for this video to go, but I am really loving scrapbooking these photos. I really enjoy the fact that I am starting to get things through my album and in my album, and there's less photos to scrapbook, but more and more things that we're doing every single day. So I'm hoping to really start capturing a little bit more. I mentioned this before, but I don't think I take a lot of photos of the things that actually happen in our lives. I take a lot of photos of the everyday, and I don't mind having those, but I think I need to do a better job in 2016. What year are we in? Yeah, 2016, to make sure that I really capture the memorable things and the things that I want to make sure I get in there, more of the event type things that we may do, or the people that we see that we don't see all the time. Having those type of stories here in my album. Those are the times that I forget the camera or forget to take pictures, and that's really kind of not good. I need to really work on that. Plus, I want to work on the quality of my photos. I have a lot of like iPhone photos, which are fine, but the old iPhone photos from a couple years ago aren't the best quality. So I really need to pull out my nice camera, my DSLR, and get it taken out and actually use it to take pictures, because I could have some really nice pictures, and I don't have the best pictures. They're not terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong, but they could be a better quality. I'm using a lot of my little alpha word stickers on this, not alpha, but a lot of my word stickers on this spread. I used a lot of little ones. A lot of them applied, like the top ones on those photos of Kalen holding up his Easter bucket said "Game On" and "So Much Fun," because they kind of ran around this room and went like crazy little kids running around trying to find these Easter eggs. Now, they were only two and a half at the time, so 2.5, 2003. Oh, I guess he would have been 3 in these pictures, because it was after his birthday in December. It's Easter after. Yeah. So he would have been 3 in these pictures, but there are a bunch of 3-year-olds running around picking up Easter eggs off the floor. They were barely hidden. They were really more like sprinkled around the floor, and the children were running around picking up their designated number of Easter eggs that they could have. But in his preschool class this year, or this particular year, 2014, Kalen had these little buddies that he hung out with, and this is a picture of him and the 3 of them. They are actually triplets, and I'm pretty sure, thought he was one of the brothers as well, because the 3 of them hung out all the time, and Kalen just was part of their group. So the 4 of them in total hung out all the time. So I'm pretty sure Kalen thought he was just one of the group. And in these particular photos, the mom was taking a picture of the 3 triplets together, and Kalen just ran in and got in the picture too, because those are his buddies, and that's kind of what they do. So I am titling this Brothers. What does it actually say? Let's see. It says Brothers and Buddies. And I just used a couple different alphas to get that done. And then I'm making a little note here, and then I decided to cover it up because I don't like the way that it looks. I'll just use a little bit of washi tape to cover it up. And I have another photo that's kind of the same thing, just from a different angle. But I'm going to include it because I'm going to tell a little bit of the story, and then I'll write that down on that grid card that says Everyday Beautiful. And so what it says is, Kalen loved this Easter egg hunt at preschool. He was so proud of all the eggs he found. He got to run around with his favorite buddies too. He thinks he's one of the triplets too. So I just kind of made a little note of that so we would remember that in the future. And this card that says Cuteness, I realize that it's sideways, but I really like the scripty font, and I just like the hot pink, and so I included it because I just like the way that it looks. I used it as a filler card. Now, I struggle with this adhesive that you see me using, so just ignore that. I'm just using up different adhesives that I have in my stash, and I believe this one was kind of getting a little too old. It kept sticking to the paper. So yeah, just ignore me struggling with that adhesive. I'm trying to use it up in this layout. Since I finished this Project Life spread, I actually have finished that adhesive, so you won't be seeing it constantly. But I do try to use up, things that are in my stash, utilize things where I can. I don't have a whole lot more to do on this layout. It's not overly embellished. I think I fiddled around with a couple different things for a good amount of time and tried to find things that look good. I like embellished things. and coordinating things, but I'm not a fan of way over embellished things on my own work. I like it great on other people, but in my own spreads and my own work, I feel like it's too much. It's not my style when I scrapbook. I think it looks lovely when other people do it, but on my own, it just doesn't look right. I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't look right to me. So I don't overly embellish a lot of things. I embellish it to what I feel looks good. And then I usually leave it alone. Sometimes I look at it later and I'm like, I could have added more. I could have kept going. But as soon as I start to feel that this is good, this is enough, then I stop, because I don't want to get to a point to where I think it's too much. Just using a couple other little die cut pieces here, and I'm using my color sorted die cut and paper cut embellishments. There are a couple of different things in these little boxes, and eventually, I keep saying this, but eventually I will be doing a room tour and I'll kind of explain those a little bit more then. But these are just miscellaneous supplies that are in my stash that are not in original packaging for whatever reason. Maybe they're the last piece in there, or they were gifted to me, or they were cut from a piece of pattern paper, so they weren't actually even in a die cut pack. That's how I sort my miscellaneous supplies. For the majority, I keep my supplies in their either original packaging, or I write it on the back of it, like this word sticker sheet is written on the back of what it is. But I don't typically take these stickers apart. But the color sorted embellishments are those miscellaneous supplies that I have sitting around. Those are those scrap kind of things that tend to get lost sometimes. Well, I'm not letting them get lost. I'm going to use them. So anyways, this is going to finish up this layout, just adding a few minor little details here and there, and then it will be done. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and also subscribe to my channel. All right, guys, thanks. Bye.